Hello everyone, it's time to Ask the Club this week. As you can see, we're going to start this week. Let's see. Conte style, planav _CFC. Louis, we'll aim this one at you. Our play in the final third has been very average in the last 3-4 games. Should Costa be dropped and Eden started as a false 9?
I'd say yes. Mainly because Costa has just been shocking for the past 2 games, and he's going around to the point where he's starting fights again just to entertain himself. But Hazard has not been as great as he was. He's still, the best thing about him is he can turn a game on its head like that. But it's a case of Willie. That's for me. I think he can, think he will, but it's just not 100% certain. You want a player like Luis Suarez was for you, which was every game you're guaranteed something. Yeah. And I'm just worried over the past couple of games. It might just be tactical. It might be because he's been marked out by Man United, for example, that he hasn't been doing what he's best known for, and basically just turning the game on its head. But in the long run, I just think, I think Hazard should be started there, or player which we bought we haven't really used. Maybe give Batshuayi a chance. He might be a bit lightweight at the minute, not ready, but he's not ever going to be ready if you don't use him.
No, I think it's a very interesting point. The thing about Costa, the thing about centre forwards is centre forwards don't score every game they play in, do they? Let's be honest. Everyone goes through bad runs of form, whatever it is. I don't think there's any doubt that Costa's class, but ultimately, you watch them week in, week out. The problem is that can you guarantee Hazard's work rate to play in a false 9? Because you've got to do a lot of hard yards when you play in that position. Look at like Firmino does it for us, and the guy, the shift he's got to put in is immense, and he's goosed. And again, much like yourselves, some of players being tired, he's not had a ton of extra football to play, but the role is so demanding that whether he can do it or not is going to be very interesting. Okay, Ronan Stott, Seren _1845. What happens to Pogba, Zlatan, etc. if Man United don't get Champions League next season?
The big question is who's the etc. I think Ibrahimovic has made his mind up what he wants to do already. I really want to say he's going to stay, but I think he's going to go. I think he's going to go. Pogba has a contract that's probably worth zillions every year, and if he's in any way,
probably not.
All right, you get what I'm saying. No, if he's in any way a professional footballer, he's going to have to stay and play no matter what.
I don't think that's a real amount of money.
You never exaggerate anything.
I think you just made that up.
There's
exaggeration, and then there's just making shit up, Liam. For fuck's sake, no one likes it.
I'll try. Oh, hashtag no pay, no party. Fuck off. No, honestly, though, I think Pogba and the rest of the guys that Mourinho's brought in will have to stay and prove their worth, as it were, because they're professional footballers, and that's what they have to do because of the contracts to play with. In terms of Ibrahimovic, I'd like to say he's going to stay, but I really think he's going already.
I think the thing with the Ibrahimovic, I was actually pondering this question whether if they get Champions League football, does he stay because he wants one more hurrah at the Champions League? So could that be a deciding factor? I don't know. Or does Man United getting Champions League football means it's easier to go and get someone else you don't need Zlatan as much?
I thought it was in his contract that it was triggered if something happens. Now is that not Champions League?
The contract, as far as I know anyway, states that United have the option to extend it, and he has the option to extend it if he wishes to. Okay. There's no he has to stay or he has to go. It's if United have obviously went to him and said, we'd like you to stay for another year.
I think he'll stay to get Champions League.
Do you? I don't know. And I can see him taking a big payday to finish his career.
I can't see Pogba moving. I don't think that's going to have an impact.
Pogba's not going to go anywhere for a long time because his contract is worth so much money.
Yeah, but we say that, but if United spend 2 seasons out of the Champions League, footballers get itchy feet, don't they? And he will be looking around thinking, provided he's lived up to the hype to some extent, there's never going to be a shortage of takers for Paul Pogba. Nope. It's just that thing of that's where Man United are. They are taking a hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of £1 million gamble on being a Champions League club. They're trying to make up for the shortfall in Champions League by buying the names.
And they've got to try and get. I mean, it's difficult to find an official tractor. Isn't it? So you've got to make sure
the Star Wars and Simpsons of Brandon.
You've got to make sure you keep in line with those people.
For Pogba to leave though, they want to recoup a lot of that money, and I just can't see any club. No, I know they have, but come on, they're still going to want to go. We paid X, Y, Z for the transfer fee. Every transfer fee, you're going to want to try.
I mean,
and make
but
it
I guess what 100 million. I'm not saying 100 million pound is not a lot of money, but the Man United, it's not a lot of money.
No, I know it's
not.
No, I know.
Well, let's not.
It's disgraceful that it's not, but it's not, and
Let's
that's the way
not,
it is.
let's not make this about the individual players then. Let's make it more of a general sense. Is how do Man United keep people happy? And when they're talking about bringing Griezmann in, another big money signing, or Man United will
That's
have
how
the
you
appeal.
keep them happy.
By
That's how, by bringing
big
good players in.
But is that not a law of diminishing returns? There's not a point where people say around and go, hang on, you're in the Europa League.
No, because that'll get you the Champions League. It will.
Will
Ultimately,
it?
yeah, it
Yes,
will.
of course it will.
Ultimately, it'll get you the Champions. If they've got a decent team now that's knocking on the door, and if they get Champions League, and I've got because of these players, then it'll work out. They'll get Champions League.
Yeah, with a manager who's prepared to build it year in year.
It's not like you couldn't turn around to the players and say, what reasons are you unhappy? You couldn't turn around and go, we've got a shit manager, or we're not earning a lot of money, or what? Yeah,
true, but that's how it happens. So actually, interesting. Follows into our next question by Fazal Khan. It says, as the new managers for the top six have settled in this season, do you think there'll be a six-way race for the title next year? And this is what I think it leads into, is that it doesn't matter. There's no team is guaranteed a top four place anymore, because there will inevitably be. Let's say two of Liverpool, City, Arsenal or United are going to finish out of the top four this season. Yeah. More likely to be Liverpool based on recent results or whatever. But that means that some club that spent ludicrous sums of money is going to be missing out.
I think I'll tell you what'll start happening. That other team will start taking the Europa League very, very seriously now to try and get that fifth spot. Simple as that. Yeah. Look at Man United this year. And rather than being a six-way for the league, it'll be a six-way for the best players now.
Yeah.
Everybody will be after all the same players. There aren't that many talented players around.
The thing about it is, do all those six clubs, all have the spending power to pay the wages? They all have.
It's just
potentially.
It's just Arsenal I feel sorry for.
I think Spurs Spurs with the stadium, I think they might struggle. Yeah. I think Spurs with the once they built the stadium and they're paying that off, they might struggle, which is the one thing that Arsenal did do.
They're more likely to struggle playing at Wembley, aren't they, than anything else.
I personally think that's a rubbish excuse. I think playing at Wembley is an awful excuse, even though it does take away the magic of going to Wembley.
Did you go to university?
I go to Wembley in. So, but that's the thing. That's the thing of it. The magic has been taken away from me of going to university in the stadium. But the whole aura of being in Wembley, the stuff which you can get there, the way that the pitch, it's you're playing on Wembley.
Yeah, but it's still there's something to be moving to a different ground that's not yours has a negative impact.
It does.
It's harder to find that. But just as I said, what's more than likely going to happen with this top six thing is inevitably what you'll find is the two weakest teams who finished in the top four the season before will be the ones to miss out the next year, because you've got to fight on those two fronts. With Liverpool, I think when the last time they got into the Champions League, we weren't good enough to be in those two things. You drop out. Man United happened last time Man United were in the Champions League, so I think there'll be more of a turnaround. It'll be harder for a club to establish themselves right at the top.
Let's just take the top six and at the end of the season just have a big Hunger Games on. Take one player each, weapon of the choice.
Fellaini, I'm picking Fellaini.
And let
Fellaini
them go at it at Wembley.
I'll take N'Golo Kante. He'll have you all.
See,
keep running.
If you're taking Fellaini,
I'm going to have Fellaini down.
I'm going to have Alberto Moreno, who's going to be like the bit in Star Wars Empire Strikes Back, and using the walkers. I'll have Moreno going around his legs, tying them off.
Just mind up.
He's down. Yeah, maybe. Next question comes from People's Person. Weird. No setup here whatsoever. Why isn't Ander Herrera more appreciated? Stats on par with Kante, and he's better offensively too. Is he United's future captain, Lee?
Yes, I think he is, yes. At the start of the year, before you jump in, Sam and I were talking about this, and it was around the whole subject of is Rooney fit to be captain, considering he hasn't been good. He hasn't been good enough to be starting effectively, and who should the next captain be? I think he's brought it into disrepute a little bit with Fellaini the previous game and then Ashley Young yesterday. Everyone knows my opinion on Fellaini, he's a tool, but Ashley Young actually has proved me wrong. I thought he played really well yesterday.
I was astounded when I saw Ashley Young.
So I was as well, really.
just passing it around, lad. It's like the England days when it used to be like Phil Neville and, you know.
That's what I'm saying. It's bringing it into disrepute. The captaincy, or the captain's armband, sorry, no longer really means what it should mean. Especially given some of our previous captains, Cantona, Roy Keane, you know what I mean? Those kind of guys.
It's weird because I don't know, I've Ander Herrera's performed a couple of times, done all right against us. I've not seen enough of him to say, but it's the outside looking in. I would think that was a real, I don't know, a real step down for Man United for someone of.
I don't necessarily think it's a step down. I mean, obviously we don't know what he's like. I've seen him on camera a handful of times. We'll probably count in actually his personal abilities to speak to the media and whatnot. But you don't know what he's like in the changing room and how he G's people up. On the pitch, he's been. I have to say, probably our most improved player over the last 2 years, definitely. And credit where credit's due. He's come out and in the big games, especially yesterday, he had Hazard in his pocket yesterday, which is a great feat.
I think Ander Herrera, when you were saying he doesn't know how to handle the media, I like the way of how direct he was yesterday. Yeah. There was a whole debate of whether it was handball, which it wasn't, and I knew it wasn't. When he got asked by Sky Sports, like, was it handball? He went, no, it wasn't. My body was natural, so it's not handball. Deal with it.
I don't think his body was natural. I think it was ball to hand. But I think it was ball to hand. I don't think it was.
But more than how he handled it.
And he just went like that. So right, can you move on? Just get on with it.
Yeah.
And I like that directness, and you can see that's part of his personality, which would carry on through as a leadership quality. Where if someone seems to be, because he is a player who is. He's gritty. He likes to make those tackles. So if someone's not doing it in the training ground, or someone's not doing it, he's one he looks like the sort of guy who'd be there going, right, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah. Get up, let's do it, let's go again. And he strikes me like that, and I like that. I think that's good leadership quality.
Some people just click with managers, don't they? And some people, they go above themselves. At Liverpool, you look at what impact Klopp's had on Lallana. No one would have thought Adam Lallana would have been an all-action, all-pressing for 90 minutes guy at time of Southampton. Maybe that's the thing of Herrera. Yeah. Sometimes, maybe if he's becoming Mourinho's emissary, if he's the one he's having the most direct impact on, then maybe it makes sense.
I would go with it. Yeah, I think Mourinho just needs to make a decision. This is my captain. This is who we're going to stick with, instead of passing the armband around. But if he wants to go for Herrera, I would have no complaints. I think I wouldn't say first name on the team sheet, but he's definitely there or thereabouts.
So why do you think he is as appreciated as United fans think he should be? Again, as the question comes,
who's he not appreciated by?
No, everyone raves, but the point is, everyone raves about Kante. Okay, everyone would say Kante's player of the season.
Liam, do you appreciate him as a player? Yeah. There you go. Doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah. I think we all have that player at our club that we all love. That if you don't watch him every week, you don't see what he provides to your club. Everyone has them. Every team has them, and every manager loves that player. Yeah. Because. No, if you can't put your finger on, if other people can't put their finger on why he does the job, that's perfect. That is perfect for a manager. And if they've got personality about them as well, and they're a leader and everyone likes them, then that is a manager's dream. And there's been so many. Ferguson used to have loads of them where everyone would go, why the fuck? And then you'd see when they left and suddenly they'd go downhill rapidly. Yeah. They're those kind of players that you need in every team. And if he's not appreciated, who cares? As long as the manager appreciates him, then that's all that matters.
He's doing his job on the pitch, exactly,
Well, excellent. Okay, next question then comes from John Bright at John's Eggs. What will it take for traditional media to give fans content the respect it deserves? And do things like rants damage the chance for this? Right. I'll start on this one. I think the ranting does damage it, but it shouldn't, because unfortunately that's all that. If you're not subscribed on YouTube and you're not into the culture and you don't really understand it in a wider sense, the only things that permeate into your newsfeed, the things that go viral, things that go viral, unfortunately, are people raging outside of football grounds. That's how we met Louis. But these are the questions I always get asked by it, because people don't watch, and we use Arsenal Fan TV as an example a lot because they are the industry leaders in this regard. People don't talk about the 12 other post-match videos they do, because you wouldn't never go and seek those videos out. You talk about the ones. So if everyone can form an opinion on stuff, and everyone has got an opinion on stuff they don't have a real understanding of. That's what being in the mainstream is to some extent. So I do think that those things do hamper the chance, because I think it feeds into this fear of football fans. For me, the football fans are a powder keg waiting to go off and make knobheads of themselves any given opportunity.
For me, the mainstream media wants to tell football fans their opinion.
Exactly.
Not not share their opinion.
Yeah.
And that ultimately is the difference. You've got, it's weird actually because it's broken into three areas now. You've got the traditional mainstream media, then you've got this this middle bit at the moment where it's people like sites like Joe,
who were trying to be a bit cool.
who are trying to be a little bit of both. And then you've got obviously us. But what you're finding is that middle section, I'm not saying Joe does this, that middle section steals a lot of what we do for their own gain.
Joe.co.uk I don't consider them a middle section. They don't appreciate us as fans, considering that me and Sammy especially have done work for Joe.co.uk and they've made promises and they've said they've done stuff which they haven't done. Two things I'm going to pick out. They don't credit the football fans. So they said I was told that we would be credited for our work and all that sort of stuff. And none of that came about. And even when we chased it up, never happened. And then Sammy had we're talking about rants. It wasn't really a rant. It was an explanation after the Crystal Palace game where he was saying we weren't loud enough and talking about fan atmosphere. We sent it to them saying, I think this is important. I think football fans should know about this. They are asking us to take off all our branding, get rid of everything. So basically, they just use us as a platform. They don't appreciate
but that's what I'm
us as who
saying.
we are.
They are that middle section. As I said, I didn't.
At least they're engaging.
I don't know any. That's what I'm saying. I didn't want
to.
I didn't want to because I didn't know any ones myself that had done that. I didn't want to like start saying generalising. But I'm saying you have that middle section now who are essentially taking our content one way or another.
Yeah.
Whether they're crediting or not, and they're sort of trying to engage. And that's what I'm saying. So it has been split into three. But I don't think the newspapers will ever, because generally newspapers want to tell people what to think. Yeah. Ultimately, that's what they do. Yeah. They are run by media companies that have got political agendas to try and get hosted, and that's why newspapers are split into essentially political views.
You know what it needs is that in order to gain respect, there needs to be a platform, a congregated platform that stands up there with those other things that you're talking about.
It's called Ball Street.
Well, exactly. But but the point is, Ball Street's not there yet. Everyone's kind of getting together on it and trying to build it up. But that's the hardest part. It was so many people come from so many different areas. But sorry, Pep, but that's the thing, is that there's not one tower, there's not one beacon that everyone can look towards. So at the minute, everyone sees the mainstream and the middle mainstream, whatever you want to call them, just look down and look at these individual little idiots and dickheads who are just doing their own thing, like kids in the bedroom. Well, it doesn't matter. They don't really know what to do, and we'll take this off them. We know what to do with it. So there's they can't have respect for it because it's not ring fenced. It's not secure. It's not secure enough, and it doesn't stand up on its own.
Nothing ever will be. And to be fair, we do need that middle section to drag us up, if that because of the massive amount of views that they have. Yeah. But then they have to give us the respect we deserve by making sure that we get credited. But the top bit, fuck them. I couldn't care less about them. They're absolute wankers, and we've seen that over the weekend.
I think the issue is, back to the question about, you want to be respected at the top. We're supposed to be all want to be respected at the top, but in order to do that, you want to take the rant culture out of it, because you want it to be a concise, calculated argument. But by taking the rant culture out of it, you're not giving those proper football fans.
I don't think
the voice to begin with.
It's about having a rounded approach to it, because there's nothing wrong with that. Because fan opinions are fan opinions. They exist whether you put a camera at them or not. And maybe showcase them was fine, exactly. But it's about making sure that, because it's professionalism, and the issue is, and where we're being our little corner of the football world is getting shit on in times, is because you go through university, you go through journalism training, you join the union, you do all this, and you've got rules and regulations that you abide to, or at least you're meant to. And then you look at then you look at the Wild West that's happening over here, and there's people that are not getting proper contributor agreement forms signed for people who are going on camera, which the professionals have to do. We're self-censoring. There's no regulatory board for what we do, which is all these things. So there's a jealousy that comes down to it, and there's a melding when fan culture takes a little bit more of a step up in terms of professionalism as well. I think that will aid it. Yeah. But as with everything, the big fear is you go too far and you're just a boring pile of shit.
I think the big for us as a culture, we are a very sensationalist part of the media. We are someone who relies heavily on opinions. We rely heavily on reactions. I'm not going to say Arsenal Fan TV. When you said they're the industry leaders in that front, Arsenal Fan TV for me are the industry leaders. Full stop. There's, like Robbie said, he gets views on everything he does. It's not just the rants. It's not just all of that. There is a lot of opinions there that should be listened to. There is a lot of stuff that goes on there, and he, as well as having the the sensationalist part with fan cams, there's also stuff like intelligent debates where he's talking about, right, Arsene Wenger, X, Y, and Z, but tell me what you think as he's engaging people. It's not just a...
Yeah.
That's the problem for us. We need
I think
to
the
find
question is how he gets that across.
No, but
exactly.
But the thing about it is, though, Robbie doesn't have to be anything to anyone apart from Arsenal fans.
Yeah.
We see all the sensational stuff that gets dragged around the internet, but Robbie's job is to Arsenal fans,
and he's doing it well.
He's
doing it
exactly,
fantastically.
and that's all he needs. To
Individually, the trick is to win respect within your own fan base to some extent, like, you know what I mean, and if, as long as you people who support the same team that you talk about, they like what you're doing and they've got the time for what you do, then I think the rest probably follows, doesn't it, to some extent. Okay, final question of the week comes from Sean Hyde 101. If you could have one realistic signing that could up your team to the next level, who would it be and why? Anyone want to throw a shout out there?
I've got one.
Go on.
Rajan Golan.
What?
Rajan Golan.
Is that where I thought that's where you went on your gap year.
No, mate, that was your dar.
When you're building
Your dar.
huts for you know.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. No, for a start, I haven't taken a gap year. Come on, Ped. I think for us, Rajan Golan would be a player from what I've seen of him.
Second year.
I tricked in Raja in the land of Nainggolan. No, I think Raja Nainggolan's a player which his all-round qualities are fantastic. He's got great defensive capabilities, he can tackle, but when he goes forward, he can shoot from distance, he can pass. He's basically the central midfielder, which is an engine, which is exactly what we need. We've got a player like Kante who can make the tackles, but we haven't got the player who can do everything else.
He's an upgrade on Matic, is what you're saying.
Yeah, he's better than Matic.
I thought it was honestly thought it was a level on Uncharted.
Amazing.
If I'm being really honest in that question, I would say Lukaku. I'd love to have Lukaku at United. I think he's the perfect replacement for Ibrahimovic. I think he would link up really well with Pogba. I look at this Everton fuckwit sitting here like this. But it's not good. I don't think it's going to happen. I'd love to see it happen, but if United broke the bank, I would love to see it happen.
He doesn't run around enough. He doesn't have the running stats of a Firmino, let's say. You know
Fuck
what I mean?
off.
He doesn't run enough.
I think he's the perfect replacement for Ibrahimovic if he goes. I'd have Lukaku all day. He's a goal machine. Why?
Because he can't hold the ball up. But I'm not.
He doesn't need to if you got
No,
people
I
behind
know,
him.
but I'm saying that they're not the same, and that's what I'm saying.
No.
Well, I mean, you'll probably think because the exotic names that are being thrown out. But,
Ryan Shaw.
well, actually, Michael Keane is someone I want to sign. I think he's a fantastic centre back. Watched him on Saturday. He did get spun big time by Lukaku for the third goal, but he impressed me. He's a young English player. Looks a good defender, but also looks like he can bring the ball out, and that's what we need.
Has he been heavily linked? Is that like moving forward?
A lot of teams have been linked with him, to be fair.
The first
I'm not saying anything because I wouldn't want anything to come back in, but we are very, very interested. Very, very interested.
For what kind of dough?
Whatever it takes, mate.
Really? 50 million for John Stones?
It wouldn't be 50.
Not from Burnley.
But you
Bailey's only got a year left. He's only got a year left on his contract.
Right.
He's only got a year left on his contract as well. But no, and that would be a genuine sort of good, solid signing. And we are. I think what you've seen last few weeks about Everton is that defensively we are very susceptible still, and that's one of the first jobs.
If you were to take Michael Keane, who would he replace?
Well, both our centre halves at the moment are both in the mid-30s.
Yeah.
So he replaced Foons Murray because he's a fucking load of shit. Essentially.
Such a terrible
Essentially.
Sad. Okay, for Liverpool, Virgil van Dijk, it's a lot of money we're talking about, and there's a lot of clubs at the top end.
He's also a Southampton player, so he fits the quality.
Exactly, absolutely. We've got to have our Southampton.
I think if he does become available, and honestly, I do think we'll go for him as well.
Yeah, well,
I think a lot of teams will go for him.
Yeah.
I think most clubs in the top 6 or 7 are going to, if they've got the dough for it, will have a spin on him. But yeah, Van Dijk for me, he is, sorry, Penny, he is. We're linked. I've said it on another show, but we're heavily linked with Oxlade-Chamberlain. He doesn't come straight into our first team. Maybe he earns a spot. Van Dijk comes in alongside Matip, and that what a centre back pair.
What about Lovren? Lovren's been pretty decent for you so far.
He's okay, but Van Dijk's best than him.
Yeah, and we bought Foons Murray instead of Van Dijk. There you go. There's another reason.
Good decision. Okay, if you want to answer any of the questions that you've been given this week, you can in the comments below. Thank you very much for watching Astical this week, back every single Tuesday. And kicking off, we're going to be wrapping up our greatest Premier League 11s finally revealing the team and seeing if there's any issues with it. And plus, we're going to be kicking off our build towards the Ball Street team of the season. New strand coming every Friday, so check back for new amazing Ball Street content. Click the Ball Street logo to subscribe, and we'll see you soon.